It's good to get someone who is above me, who has gone years before me. So you inquire if you're not sure. Otherwise, we shall end up seeing you mad. You have saved your 10 million, you have got a contract, someone says there is 50 million here, you go there, your 10 million is gone, you go and sell all your land in the village, you are paying this money, and we see you running mad. So it's good to do your math and do consult those that have gone ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Musa. That was very elaborative. Mr. Gilbert, do you think there are some IT skills that someone can acquire, maybe a member of Kampala Central Church, without necessarily going to university to do telecom engineering or IT like you went? And if they are there, what are those small soft skills in IT that someone can acquire without going to school?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, there are so many of them out there, and which someone can market and get money out of. I will talk about a few, but before that, I would say IT, I think in general, is more advantageous compared to other fields in this way, that you can even become a professional who is self-taught. When I was doing my bachelor's degree, I remember one of the lecturers who was briefing us or orienting us, he said, if anything ever fails, then you're not doing enough. Knowledge is in air. So that's the beauty about IT. You actually don't have it to be in class, or you don't have to have a bachelor's degree in IT to reach somewhere in that career. But again, there are limitations to that. If you advance, then maybe, yes, you need to get to class and do something. But to mention about a few of those skills one can learn without necessarily going to university, I can talk about one that is what we call basic programming. I am sure some of the people here have done it. So you can learn things like JavaScript, you can learn things like Python. They sound scary, but your qualification is how much you're determined, the persistency. IT is also easy, but also hard at the same time. That in the first, there are quite a number of people who start but never reach anywhere with IT, because it requires a lot of persistence. You will see a number of young people who are just trying IT for the first time. Most of them are loners. They just love to be alone. That is part of what IT takes. Sometimes you have to get off the social media and your social networks, and you lock yourself for a day or two because you're trying to figure out something. But there are a number of skills, basic programming. You can do basic cyber security. You can learn how to detect phishing emails. You can learn how to do what we call password hygiene. These are things that disturb people, but they are easy to do. And you don't have to be in a class to learn about these things. There's what we call data analysis. You can use things like Google Sheets, Excel. Those are easy things to do. And unlike, I think, other fields where you need to have a textbook on you to read and understand, with IT, as long as you're connected to the internet, then you can learn. There are many free channels you can use. YouTube is there for you. Many other free channels you can get resources and learn. So that's what I may say about IT skills and how you can get them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilbert. Professor Mkokoma, you have participated in a lot of publications about 12. You have written some books, meaning you have made some research. What are those fields in research, opportunities in research, where maybe one member here or two can get engaged in, and maybe it can be their path of career?
Thank you so much. All of us are researchers. For those of us who have done masters, you cannot graduate without doing research. For a PhD, you cannot get a PhD without doing research. But all of us, at our individual levels, we do research. Research means that you identify a gap, a problem, and then you generate options of solving that problem. What is trending, among others, are issues related to the environment, which cut across sustainability. And if you identify a problem, you can anchor it or relate it to your field: engineering, health, social science, political science, name it. But what is critical is that you identify those who are already there and you ride on the shoulders of the giants. It's important to get mentors. In this church, we have a project which came out of a research, a problem. We have the Chivulu children coming here. Many of them lack education. Look at our neighborhood. Whenever I pass there, I'm challenged as a researcher. The livelihoods of our neighborhoods are so low. So we wrote a project, simple one, simple project, as a church, and it was funded. Now I challenge all of us, why can't we build this project into a billion project? We have brains here, we have the need. And it's not only the Chivulu community that is having livelihood problems, many others do. And we can put our heads together, attract partners, and together we are involved. But as youths, I encourage you to identify role models, identify people who are researching in the area where you have passion, volunteer. Don't look for money. Don't look for a job first. Have passion in what they are doing and request to work with them. Before you know it, you are there. But what will sell you is your character and the value you've built for yourself, the way you conduct yourself. Many youths are trained, they are knowledgeable. With artificial intelligence, you can get a lot of things. But the distinguishing factor, now I'm talking as somebody who has been a head of department for a while at university. Right now, I'm acting director, quality assurance. The key factor we are looking for is character. The way you conduct yourself, the way you use the competences you have to solve problems. That will sell you. Opportunities will look for you. I submit.
Thank you very much. So, personal branding is key, actually king in research. Dr. Makumbi, like we said in the beginning, the health field is broad. You can become a pediatrician, you can become a cancer doctor like you can become a gynecologist and other things. So which opportunities are now available for someone who would want to go for health and be a specialist? Where is the biggest amount of money? Can we use money or what? Passion, what is the biggest career, and what is your prediction of the future? Where do we think we are going with time?
Thank you very much, moderator. Well, we have to appreciate a few things. When one is practicing medicine, you have to be with your eyes wide open to see what is happening around you. But you are not working within a vacuum. So we want clients to attend to, but we don't know which clients are out there. So we look at the world census, we look at the demographics of nations, and we see what is happening around us. So as we stand, we realize that we have so many young people, we have a good number of women out of those, but also we should know that the world is advancing every other day. The incoming of technology has changed everything. But we as practitioners, we are still stuck with what we call ethics. You see, we have ethics for our practice, which hinder us to do certain things, but also promote certain things which might be even against our will. But as I said, that we have more children and the young ones are being born. So that tells you that there is a big need for surgical services for the young ones. The same is also true for the women. And all those have subspecialties within the surgical field. But we might even not reach that gap to make sure that we close it up, because it takes some good time for one to become a surgeon who is able to practice safely. But the world population is not giving us that room so that we move in tandem. But we try, and we try to look around. Now we have our colleagues in IT, in technology. That's why you realize that even the surgery we used to do as open surgery, you go to a hospital, maybe you are admitted, you are operated. Some of these things are done with technology. You are booked, you are scheduled, and everything is ready. Then, even the actual practice, because of the big need which is around us, we are moving towards using technology in operating. That's why you see somebody will come and ask, are you going to give me a big cut on my tummy, or you are going to use straws to enter and see what is there? What you call laparoscopic surgery, or even robotics. Because the world is moving, and also us, we have to keep abreast with what? With that need. But the fields which are marketable, I would say, are now towards what we call the non-communicable conditions. Originally, or some time back, you heard what was happening, that everyone would complain of HIV, TB, malaria, but globally, the world has moved away from that with what was put in place to prevent such coming into what? Into existence. So now we are suffering the effects of other things, whether you are born with an error, whether you've acquired maybe some injuries, like as I said, technology is moving, vehicles are faster, planes are moving faster. You know, even in the military, what we use is now on a higher scale or higher technology. So those are now the diseases which are more rampant, and so also they move towards such specialties. We are now moving towards trauma surgery, we are moving towards pediatric surgery, robotics, and interventional radiology. Thank you very much.
So basically, doctor, you are saying that hypertension, cancer are now things to mind about.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Elder Paul, now today is Sabbath and today is the most working day. I also do small business, but I know that today is a great day for business. How have you, for over the years, how have you been able to balance Christianity, your values of Christianity, with these things that happen in the world, the worldly business? You have your container, URA, it is almost getting here, but they are saying we need some, you should use your behind pocket. How have you been able to balance those two things to make sure that you remain a good Christian?
So interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Friends, I have a testimony, by the way, on that. And my testimony is, I have a praying wife. My wife is very prayerful.
Where is Mrs. Mugabe? She's around outside.
She's one person that I'll never leave home without saying a prayer. We wake up at 5. Of late now, we're waking up at 4. But we have a session of prayer. Friends, prayer is very important. And whenever we move out, we seek the Lord for guidance in our decision making and in everything we are doing. Before I got married, by the way, it was very challenging, because at times when we were very busy, Sabbath was the day when people would make money. Serious money, friends. I'm talking of serious money. But you know, as you outgrow some of these things, you see where the value is. Yeah? And because of those biblical principles, they give you a guideline, they give you a light onto your path. Eh? So much as those challenges are there, but we need to seek the Lord and put forward God first. And after, when God is first, everything will be at bay. So I want to encourage each one of us that much as the challenges there in business, let us seek the Lord. He's going to guide you for each and every decision that you take. And the money will cease to become an issue. I thank you.
Thank you very much. So Mrs. Mugabe, in her absentia, we thank her very much, because the gentleman was not prayerful, but is now very prayerful. All right. So, Engineer Musa Aruho, I know you are a civil engineer, that's right? And you specialize in construction of bridges and roads, right?
Bridges and structures.
And structures, buildings. All right. So now, is that the best field in engineering, or there are better fields? I know there are very many fields in engineering. There's chemical, there's electrical, there's which else? There's petroleum. So which field in engineering is the best? And what is your prediction of the future?
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Michael.
There's even mechanical. I can see Elder Nyirimans around. There's
Yes.
mechanical engineering also.
Allow me to submit this way. Wherever you are, you can be valuable and you can be rich there. Why? I'll give an example of my field, bridges and structures. The field of civil engineering has been infiltrated by the engineers. There is an engineer and there is the engineer with a Y at the start. Now, and actually some of us here are culprits. Yes. And you get a structure and say, I have a guy somewhere. This guy, he may not even know how to read the drawing, but he will do what? You say he will build. Yes, a foreman. He has never seen a blackboard of an engineering class, but he will build. Now, here is a challenge. He can build it, but he doesn't know the reason behind why we are doing what we are doing. The reason as to why we have the size of the pillars you see besides you in this church is not because of beauty, but there is a reason behind. So you bring this gentleman, he will say, okay, what is the size of the column? Which column do you want? You want 300? You want 500? You want 200? I can give you whatever you want. Now, because you want to save money, you will say, I need the one that saves money, but it should work. Now, you are the one directing this man. You get? Yet, an engineer is supposed to guide and protect you as a client. So, where are the opportunities? Do you know how it works? Do you know why you're doing what you're doing? And so, I am saying, we need more designers. If I go to the field of architects, if you look around Uganda, we have replicated structures, boxes. There are boxes, there are squares there. There is no beauty. Now, we need guys who can think at the pace of technology where we are. And they produce a beautiful structure whereby everyone will marvel and say, yes, we have professionals here. The same goes to the civil engineers. We have so many who are fighting to go in the field there. They want to be on the road. I find so many gentlemen who want to be trained. But you ask him, do you want to be in design or you want to be out in the site? He says, no, I know where money is. It is on site. But friends, that's not where money is. Money is in design. Because the moment you design it, they will ask you to supervise it. Most of the projects you see, the government projects, the big roads, the structures, there are always professionals required. And those professionals normally are people who understand how it works. So let's avoid staying at the surface of our professions. Let's go deep and know how it works, and that goes into design. The other sector that possibly you may need to interest yourself in is petroleum engineering. We have quite a number of wells so far. Tirenga is moving, but there is a phase 2 which is around Karamoja. So we have oil here. If you look at the projects that are happening now, they are all being funded on loan. Now, the foreigners, they see what we don't see. They see too much money here, which they want to pick. So that is why they come and entice you, please, do you have any project? We want to fund it such that you pay back later. Of course, with interest. So there is money in petroleum. And those wells will not operate without engineers. So petroleum engineering is good. If you look around members, if you want to build a house, you look for civil engineers, they will be busy, very busy. Even the builders, the engineers, the foremen, the porters, they are scarce. So it means civil engineering also is another field. Why? Because we are still underdeveloped. If you move out of Kampala and you're going to the north, you will see vacant land, no structure, no nothing. You go to the west, the same. You go to the east, the same. So it means we are at the start of our development. And therefore, civil engineers, petroleum engineers, I am not saying chemical and mechanical engineers, there are no opportunities. They are there. Even welders, when they were going to weld that pipeline, they needed professional welders. What am I saying? Be good at what you do. If you are a mechanical engineer and you repair vehicles, you check vehicles and fix them, be good at it, and you tell me. It will pay off. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Aruho Musa. Engineer and engineer, there is a difference. Now, Mr. Gilbert, I know IT has a lot. In COVID, we are preventing our kids. I also have a kid I'm taking care of, but they were studying on phone, but had issues with giving them the phone because of challenges of IT and ethics. How have you been able to balance ethics and your IT, its challenges and your Christianity? Everything that is concerned with IT and the ethics. How have you been able to balance challenges of IT with your Christianity?
Thank you very much. I think like any other field, it really becomes so hard to balance if you're not grounded in your faith. It becomes really hard because as you go up the professional ladder, there are a lot of temptations. And it's now, it's too much when it comes to public service. I'm sorry to say, but there are a lot of public servants here, but you relate, you know what I'm talking about. But what makes it easy is your integrity, your strength as far as your faith goes. Takes you a long way. Otherwise, there are a lot of temptations out there. When it comes to IT, this is a field where you are asked, say, for a quotation, and you will talk about things that no one will ever understand. And so you have a chance to misbehave, if I may say. But it's really upon you to take it. And IT is no exception because integrity cuts across all fields. But as a person, how I've managed to go through this is, I know what is prepared for me of God is indeed mine. If it is a deal that requires me to compromise my faith, then probably that is not for me. And I know for sure if you stay professional, I think my other colleagues here put it very clear. If you stay professional and you're good in your area, you really don't have to compromise your ethics. There are many opportunities out there and very legit. So just be strong with your faith, mean what you say, and do what is required of you. That's how I put it.
Thank you very much. Now, church, that box you're seeing there has our cake. After this session, we are going to cut cake, so no one should leave before taking a piece of cake. Now, church, are going to do a small research as I get to Elder Mkokoma. Allow me to conduct a small research, not to crucify anyone, but for our own good, because Professor Mkokoma is going to answer a question that is related to our research. How many of us have a bachelor's degree? By show of hands in church here. If you know you have a bachelor's degree, raise the hand. Yes, I can see. Good, that's amazing. Now, how many of you have a bachelor's degree and have added a master's degree? By show of hands? Don't worry, please. This is not to crucify anyone. If you know you have a master's degree, raise your hand, please. I would like to see you. Can see Dr. Makumbi? Okay, how many have a postgraduate, at least a postgraduate diploma after your bachelor's degree? Raise your hand. All right, there are few. Professor Mkokoma, you see my research? People studied the degree and stopped there. They came to Kampala Central Church. What can we do? What can be done for the youths to continue with school?
Thank you so much. Good question. What can we do? And my answer is, it starts with you. Do you like it? Do you have passion for it? Then go for it. Use what you have and be visible, and opportunities will come. When I was doing my first degree at Uganda Matters University, that was before my conversion. I was a Catholic, a good Catholic. I was heading a choir, and I was singing, and I was drumming. And the vice chancellor, Professor Lijen, would also sing because he was a priest. So we would do practice. Even when they were developing the anthem for the university, we would practice together. As I was concluding that bachelor's degree, there was an opportunity, a scholarship from Kulika. In their boardroom, they discussed. Then I had my name being read. I said, why? Okay, they looked at the CGPA, the average, but also somebody who is contributing over and above what is ordinary, using your talents to serve God. So my name was picked, and I was sponsored, Leeds University, full scholarship. I don't even wait for the graduation. So I came back to continue working because we had a contract. Although I got a job in the UK, but we had a contract with the university to come and serve. I was so passionate that after that, I should go ahead and do a PhD as soon as possible. I got a full scholarship to do a PhD as soon as possible in German. But then, we didn't have the children we wanted. Now we went into a discussion. You see, balancing passion and reality, life, family life. So we went into a discussion with my best friend, Mr. Mkokoma. I said, hold on, you're right. You are passionate about going for this scholarship, but we need more children. I listened. I paused for 7 years to do a PhD. Then thereafter I said, but I have a passion. My answer is you should...
As you move through the career, or everything has been straight, and if any challenges, how have you managed to solve them?
Thank you so much. Well, it might be relative appearance that everything seems fine. But all that takes the grace of God to appreciate issues and move as if there is nothing happening. As I said, to become a practicing surgeon, you must have taken a long path to be recognized as one who can perform whatever is required. Unlike maybe the other subspecialties in medicine, where things might wait for you, in surgery, anything can happen, whether small or a higher magnitude. We can be seated in here. I'm one surgeon, and this building collapses. It will be my role to make sure those who are saved or those who are dead are categorized and are accorded what is required of them at that point. So we are supposed to be ready all the time to do what is unexpected. So it is such a strenuous exercise, and it really impacts much on our day-to-day living. And if you are not very careful, as my colleague of IT put it, you might end up living in seclusion because at night you are called to work. During the day you might spend the whole day in theater. So you become, at least, you lose your life. But all said and done, there are so many opportunities in there that if I really wanted to become very rich, I would. Because all of you here, all those around me, are potential clients. And without a call away, because we might be here and an intestine of my sister here twists.
God forbid.
So it will be under my mercy to charge what I want. But you see, as a Christian, you have also to think twice. You should not behave like those guys who looked at the what? The Samaritan, among those who found the injured person, which is really taken as the story of the Good Samaritan. So we can get anything we want from you if we wanted, because you are at some point helpless, as it were. And it is out of our mercy that we can do whatever we know, whether rightly or not, but we can get what we. Besides, if we did anything in your bed, say inside there, and we did it haphazardly, who is there to go and open and ask us? So it is, as I said, that we have the ethics of practice, which help us to act according to God's will, and we act right. But it is not very easy, because by and by, if really you don't keep close to your God, as they say, that the devil flees from you, then you are most likely to be driven the other side. Because it has happened with many of our friends, our colleagues, be it in the church or out there. So we really thank God that we are still standing. Of course, it is you to evaluate from your circles whenever you pass and say, that guy is such, he has rotten as an egg or whatever you can call it. But for us, since we don't advertise ourselves, even the feedback, unless it is out of your good courtesy that you come and tell us through either colleague or what and say, you man, go slow. What is happening in the press is not acceptable about you. So that is one thing. Then the other challenge is, you see us here, I would say smartly dressed, or out there where my friend finds me. We usually even put on white coats and we pretend to be, whether holy or very clean, I don't know. But just know that the surgical specialty is worse off than somebody who works in your toilet. Because whatever can come up with you, it is us to clean up and put right the mess, whichever way you've come. You might be on the road, moving somewhere smartly dressed, you crash, you are messed up, you are brought to our emergency ward. We are the ones to clean you up, sort you up, in whichever shape you are. And that's what makes us to be called men, other than doctor. That's why you see a surgeon will be called a minister, because you are like an animal. In summary, you can do the unthinkable. You just imagine you have a problem in your hand, and somebody heartless as it might be gets the guts to cut off your hand and leave you with part of it. It is not a very easy thing as you might think. You see us practicing, we laugh, we do what, but when we are meaning business, we can do the unthinkable in a manner that life is saved. So it is really challenging, but the other thing is, as also my colleagues put it, that we are in a business. And almost all earthly businesses, the rewards, the earthly rewards are maximum on Sabbath. I might be here seated, and a colleague says, you know what, there is this deal, 5 million ready there. Can you come and transact? But I tell him, you know what, you know me, I'm an Adventist. Even I have a clinic, I close, I put Monday to Friday, period. So somebody will be there until you reach a point and somebody appreciates and says, that guy, is a waste to us, he won't come. But to me, who goes by the words of Agul in Proverbs, I say, God, give me that which is enough, so that I may not get too little that I steal, and not too much that I forget you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Doctor, you talked about chopping off people's hands and legs, and I saw a gentleman who is studying to become that. Dr. Gabriel, can you stand up and the church sees you? That gentleman is studying to chop off people's legs and hands. That gentleman in a blue shirt, please stand up. That doctor is studying to become an orthopedic surgeon, and so you should look at him. Now, Elder Mugabe, I must tell you the truth I've never told you. You know we talk a lot with you, but I admire you. When I see that big car, and I see that suit every Sabbath, I want to be like you. In 2 minutes, can you tell me exactly, and someone in the congregation who admires to be like you, how can you inspire someone to be like you in 2 minutes?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. To me, I would really think that you need to put God first in each and everything you're doing. Put God first in everything, in your business, in each and everything you're trying to do. God should be the very first person. Number 2, set clear goals of what you want to be and want to achieve. Number 3, you see, when you're doing business with everyone, respect the people you're working with. Be passionate, and be passionate for the work you're doing. Then be patient. Be patient with each and every, because things won't come, at once. You need to be patient, you need to persevere, and good things are yet to come. Then do not fear failure. Keep trying, even when you fail, because when you fear, then you may not achieve much. Fear is very dangerous to many people that are doing business. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Elder. Engineer Aruho Musa, you have become very successful at a very young age. You are in my age bracket, but you are very successful. How can you inspire someone in 2 minutes to become like you? You're already talking about deals of 800 million, and I'm inspired. How can someone be like you?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Just to let you know, I am also pursuing. I haven't reached where I'm going. One, members, thank you so much. Members, we need to believe in ourselves. That is number 1. Whether you are in business, whether you are in engineering, if you're pursuing medicine, anything you're doing, believe in yourself, that it is possible for you to do what? To make it. That is the first thing. The moment you have that faith in you, it is very easy. I am here, I am a living example. I started calling myself an engineer after P7. And lo and behold, I pursued what? Engineering. So, number 2, please know where you're going. It is good to look ahead. Do not just sleep and wait for the future to happen. It is good to plan your life. Just like Elder said, God first. But as you go to pray, you must have a what? a prayer. In this, I mean what you want to ask from God, because God wants to hear from you. Are we together? So it is very important. Believe in yourself. Having known what you are, now determine, where do I want to go? Which path do I want to take? If I want to be an academician, then it means I have to pursue my education as far as PhD is what? Is concerned. If I want to do business, then it means I have to take this direction. And my mentor is going to be so and so. If I want to be an engineer, it means I need such and such a course. It means I need to take these kind of subjects. It means at this level, you get, you give your life direction, and then when you go to pray to God, your prayer is clear because you know where you're going. People nowadays say, nti je ndaba nkola ki, ndabayo. So you know kulabayo. Do not just sleep and wake up the next day to just move to the road and go and look for work. No. Set your pace, set your goals, set your plan. May God bless you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Nzasmana Gilbert, can you please, everybody is talking about IT, even doctors are now talking about IT, even professors. What is the future of IT? Can you please predict for us the future of IT?
Thank you. I think that's a good question. I will start by saying Uganda has what we call Uganda's Digital Transformation Roadmap 2014. And Uganda is looking at having 90% household connectivity, 90% broadband access. Uganda is looking at having 90% of access to e-services. E-services, we mean online learning platforms, we mean e-governance. So the future, if I may summarize it, the future is IT. Due to the growth we have seen in IT, all other sectors have been affected. Previously, we used to have agriculture as the backbone of Uganda's economy. But the trend has changed. Right now, it is the service sector that is the largest employer in Uganda. And that is where IT falls. And according to you, boss, I think the service sector employs about 47.3% of all employed Ugandans. And out of that 43, less than 1% are in IT. And yet IT is slowly but surely becoming the backbone in all what we are doing. It's becoming the backbone in health, it's becoming the backbone in trade, it's becoming the backbone in tourism. And so there are just plenty of opportunities out there for someone who is interested in IT. And if I may just talk about a few hints or something small that may help one who is in this sector is, as I earlier said, most of the IT people are sort of disconnected from, I mean the core IT people. When I talk about IT people, I don't really mean these who troubleshoot printers and connect USBs, not really, but professional ones. But because of that disconnection, they end up not networking enough, and so we have had a lot of complaints from the IT people that jobs are nowhere to be seen, but jobs are there and plenty. I think recently, McKinney University did a study, they call it a tracer study. They're basically trying to find out where their graduates are, what they are doing, if they are employed, to help in curriculum development and so on and so on. But one of the questions that were asked in the study was the most effective method that these graduates use to get jobs. And the biggest percentage of those who are employed said they got employment because of their personal contacts. So as you detach from community, as you detach from friends, there is a cost to that. There are many opportunities that you don't see. But in brief, the future is IT. We are going to see a lot of AI integration. Of course, we are not yet there. AI builds on digitalization, and we are still struggling at digitalization. We have a long way to go as far as when you compare our economy with the rest of the advanced economies. We still have a long way to go. There's a lot that needs to be done so that we can cope up. But there are so many opportunities out there in IT, because with IT you can tap in every sector. I am a software developer by profession, but I am able to tap into health, I'm able to tap into NGOs, I'm able to tap into so many other sectors, agriculture, simply because of how broad and how this field is built. So for anyone in here who is interested in IT, this is the right time. And there are just plenty of opportunities waiting for such curious ones. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilbert. So we are just beginning. It is just the beginning of IT. Professor Mkokoma, Mary Maurice, there is a lady and a gentleman also who looks at you and wonders how you did it. And they would also want to be like Professor Mkokoma. Can you in 2 minutes tell us how someone can be like you, at least, okay, halfway of you, even if they didn't reach where you are, halfway of you? Can you inspire someone to be like you in 2 minutes?
Thank you. I need a day, but you've given me 2 minutes. Nobody can be like me because I'm unique, fearful, and wonderfully made. I'm told that even my thumbprints are unique. But nevertheless, possibly having a package similar or better than mine. In fact, I would love somebody to have a package better than mine. That gives me joy. Number one, on your knees, pray. 2, be humble. Be willing to surrender all. Even if they say, don't go for that PhD you are passionate about, be ready to surrender for the sake of your calling from God and also the family. I want you to look at your life as an onion. At the heart of it is your relationship with God. The second layer is your family. Please prioritize your family. In case you are married and you are a lady, your husband, your children, that's your first charge and your responsibility. Don't put your career above the family. Above all, be kind to yourself. Know that you are weak and you can make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, be willing to learn. Accept criticisms because they build you. Don't fear challenges. They nurture your character. Don't stop learning. I'm a student on a daily basis. Before I sleep, I spare a few minutes to note down what has gone well, what I've not done well, and what I can do better the next day. I learn daily until I breathe my last. Thank you.
Professor Mkokoma is the only professor I've seen so far that doesn't put on spectacles. For all the universities I've gone to, she's the only professor I've seen and interacted with that doesn't put on spectacles. That is also amazing, and we thank God. Now, last but not least, Dr. Makumbi, you are so humble, and yet you are a big person. I knock like 10 doors. By the way, on a Monday, if I'm going to meet this gentleman, I knock like 10 doors. Knock, the secretary says, wait a moment. Knock, the secretary says, 2 minutes. Call him. Now, doctor, tell us, if I also wanted to get behind those doors and they knock for me, What would I do? Because I need it, I also want to be like you. Then how can they say, Michael, Dr. Michael, what can I do to be like you, doctor? Tell me in 2 minutes.
It is such a challenging situation you've put me in. But I have to admit that God is able in all his ways. In that, a person like me, technically born in a pigsty, to be interacting with the great men and women in all the circles I've been to, it was not out of my making or design. But of course we have to appreciate who we are. And also one thing I've discovered is to know the meaning of your name. I mean your Christian name. I don't know whether any of you have taken trouble to appreciate and do some little research on what your Christian name means. But I, for one, my name means to honor God, or to be honored by God. And I don't have any doubts about that. I've been honored by God, and by his grace, I've moved around through thick and thin to where I am. But one thing I have to emphasize that it is possible with each and every one of us here. Let us be purposeful. Let us remain focused on what we are and what we are made for. If by the grace of God you appreciate that God is your Lord, is the lawgiver to direct you to whichever way you are to take, pay heed, do your part, and leave the rest to him. He will direct you. And some of the areas of emphasis in the social circles should be that Professor mentioned that your family is key. Yes, it is true. Make sure that you maintain that coherency between you and the people around you, the young one, your wife or your husband, all the time. Because when all things fail, your focal point should be your home. But it should not be, again, a fireplace, or that you jump from the pan to a fireplace, or the fire itself. So try hard where possible and make sure that it remains in that kind of cozy environment, which will be able to soothe all your angers, your worries, your desperations. And if you've made it right that at the center of it, the pivot is your God, then the rest will be history. May the good Lord help you to emulate all these noble people before you. And I know you can be where we are and beyond as God wills. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Makumbi. Now, church, I've come to the close of this side. We are getting into another session. Our preacher is already around. We are beginning our week of prayer that is going to usher us into the camp meeting. But I would like to know, do you have any person with a submission or a question? I can see a hand. How many hands do you have? We need to see the hands we have because we have our cake. After cutting our cake, we shall go into another session of the week of prayer. So please get closer. I want our microphones and our cameras to capture you. If you know you have a submission, please get here. We would like to have you here.
Okay, thank you so much, host and the team, for the nice insights. Mine is a question, and it goes to Professor Nkokoma. My name is Ivas Bedwin, for emphasis. Now, my question comes from the academia, and in this case, publications. And it's direct that if one wanted to publish a book, this book is based on maybe their story in life or insights. It could be inspirational, tracing the perils and navigations of their own life, and they wish to publish that book. what are the fundamental steps majorly in obtaining a recognized publisher and an international book number?
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful question. Thank you very much, Aiwaziwe. Someone else with a question? Okay, Professor, you can be answering that as we get another person.
Thank you, Edwin, for that question, and go ahead, right. From the question, I can read that you have a manuscript. You've started on something, and you're asking, how do you get a credible publisher and an ISBN number? For a publication to be credible, you need a buy-in. You need experts who are interested in that area to review your work so that they give you feedback, preferably 2 or 3. You can get a local and an international reviewer. We have local publishers here, but we also have international publishers, and the lists are available. I'm not going to read the lists now, but it also depends on the cost and what you'll get out, because it is business in a way. You've put in a lot to write, the time you are putting in, and the book will have a cost because the quality of the papers, the quality of the cover and the design, all that is money going into it. And at the end, you need also to get revenue from what you are making. And the process is also expensive. So you make a decision whether you're going to use a local publisher and an international publisher. In Uganda, we have a problem of reading. People don't like to read. We have a low reading culture. And in most cases, when your book is out, people just photocopy. They violate the copyright rights. And before you know it, 2-3 years, you cannot make sales, but your book is all over. So you have to be cautious of that. But the ISBN number, after going through those processes, is not expensive. It's not more than 50,000 if you've gone through those steps. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other submission, no question? Yes, Mrs. Mwezi. And also after Mrs. Mwezi, the gentleman will come here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our dear facilitators. It's been a fruitful discussion. I have this question, and it is addressed to our dear first elder. Maybe on behalf of our youth, there is this, as a fresh graduate, and we look out, we see people who inspire us, and someone might look at you, you have a big car, you're into business. This is a fresh graduate, and there is this saying of, you can't easily get jobs. And some, they decide to, as if I see there is a lot of money if I take the business path. Someone is just fresh from the university, doesn't have capital, and decides to start these small businesses. Yes, you've told us to start small. Decides to start small businesses. And no wonder when you said how many people have bachelors, the hands were many. How many people have added? A few of them have added. So someone gets stuck around that cycle. You're trying to do business, you never take off because you've started with small capital, and you have a conception that, jobs are not available. What would you advise to someone who might be stuck there? Thank you so much.
All right,
do you start business straight away from the university, or better to first go professional and build some capital?
Thank you very much. Then the last question also, let it come at once, that we can answer at once. She answered, she asked it. That's the same question? I can't hear you well. It's the same question. Good. So that makes it a summary.
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. What I must say about that is one thing. Everybody here has a passion. And I think everybody would like to do something. But as much as you want to do something, you need to create a social network. And the networks begin from our church here. Which people do you relate to? If you have an idea, and for example, it is something to do with an engineer here, have you approached him to take you through? Because he's somewhere and you're somewhere. So I would really think and advise that you need to know your net worth in terms of the people that you rate with. For example, today,